You ever have that feeling, when you're so close to finishing a project, you can almost taste it, but you're not quite there yet? That in-between space can feel kind of frustrating, right? But what if I told you it's actually a place of incredible power? Okay, let's get into it. So let's just start with this idea right here, because it really frames everything we're going to talk about. This isn't about some flaw or a failure to get things done. It's suggesting that the space before the end, that unfinished part, well, that's a gift. It's this moment of pure potential the universe is just handing to you. To really get a handle on this, think about movies. You've got G, which is like that perfect, satisfying ending. The hero wins, the music swells, the credits roll, everything's settled and complete. But then you have Wei Ji. And that's like the post-credit scene. You know the one. It hints that, hold on, the story isn't really over. Something new is about to happen. And all that energy is suddenly dynamic again. We're going to be living in that post-credit scene today. Now, this idea isn't some new age philosophy. Nope. It comes from this ancient piece of wisdom called the hexagram Wei Ji, which you could translate as not yet across or, you guessed it, unfinished. So let's see what this ancient symbol can teach us about our super modern lives. Okay, so here's the core of it. Wei Ji is represented by the hexagram of fire over water. And just look at these key words we've got here. Unfinished, chaos, potential, process awareness, dynamic balance. You notice what's missing? Failure. It's not about failing. It's all about what's possible. It's this state of beautiful, creative chaos that just hasn't settled down yet. And what's really cool is the imagery itself. Think about it. In nature, fire's energy wants to go up, right? And water's energy flows down. In this symbol, they're sitting one on top of the other, but they aren't actually mixing. Their energies are both super potent, but they haven't integrated. This is the perfect picture of that not yet state. All the ingredients are on the table, but the final dish hasn't been made. To make this even clearer, there's this great old story that goes with Wei Ji. It's about a little fox trying to cross a huge river, and he's almost there. I mean, the goal is right in sight. But in his excitement, he gets a little careless and dips his tail in the water right at the very end. The lesson here is so simple but so deep. Rushing those final moments, it doesn't help anyone. The journey demands our full attention, right up until the very last step. So, if we find ourselves in this unfinished state, how are we supposed to navigate it? Well, the hexagram doesn't just describe the situation. It actually gives us a roadmap. That's right. Believe it or not, embedded right in the structure of the hexagram are 6 distinct stages. And each one has specific advice for turning all that potential chaos of the in-between into a real conscious path forward. So let's walk through those stages right now. Okay, let's break this journey down. It starts with that warning, wetting your tail, just like our little fox. Be cautious. But then, as you start to build some momentum, the advice shifts. It's about dragging your wheels, making sure your progress is steady and safe, not reckless. The real challenge comes around the middle, at overreaching, where you're so tempted to just force that river crossing before you're truly ready. The guidance is all about patience. You see the pattern here? Every stage asks for a different kind of awareness. From sticking to your principles during a big breakthrough, to acting with fairness when you step into a leadership role, all the way to the very end. Even when you've basically succeeded, the final warning is soaking your head, a really powerful reminder to stay humble. So how does this ancient wisdom actually apply to your life, like right now? Well, let's just bring it right into the office. If your project is still in progress, the lesson is crystal clear. Don't rush to the finish line. When that deadline is getting close, it actually requires more care, not less. And hey, if things feel like they're moving slowly, try to reframe it. A slower pace isn't stagnation. It's a time for building energy for that next big leap. Your whole attitude during the process is what's going to define what happens next. All right, so now that we know how to navigate this space, let's talk about how to actually appreciate it. This is all about reframing unfinished from something we have to just get through into a creative space we can truly live in and even enjoy. I just love this. It's such a great reminder that the journey isn't just a bunch of annoying steps to get to the destination. The way we walk the path, with patience, with awareness, with care, that is what gives the final result all its richness and its meaning. The process itself is literally coloring the outcome. And if you needed one final, beautiful image to hold on to, here it is. This in-between state, it isn't an empty, blank canvas just waiting for you to start painting. No, it's a vibrant, active space where all the colors of a rainbow are already swirling and mixing together, creating something totally new. It's alive, it's dynamic, and it is beautiful just as it is. So, to bring this all home, let's ground this whole philosophy in a simple, practical exercise. This is a little ritual you can do anytime you're feeling anxious about the process and just need to find a little more patience. It's really simple. First, you're going to prepare your elements, a lit candle for fire and a cup of clear water for, well, water. Place them near each other. Now, just observe. Gaze at the reflection of the flame as it flickers on the surface of the water. Imagine these two powerful forces, fire and water, slowly moving towards each other, but still respecting the space that separates them. And as you're watching, just silently repeat this to yourself. I respect the process. I trust the rhythm. I am whole in the becoming. And for the final step, and this part is key, don't blow out the candle. Just let it burn out completely on its own. This one small act symbolizes the entire lesson of Wei Ji, letting go of the need to force a conclusion and trusting that the result will show up in its own perfect natural time. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Just take a look at your own life, your career, your personal goals, your relationships. Where is the process, that in-between space, the real destination? Where is the beauty not waiting at the finish line, but happening right now in the journey itself? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your journey in the comments with the hashtag #ProcessIsTheWay. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.